For decades, they called us conspiracy theorists. Weather balloons, they said, swamp gas, mass hysteria. Today, under oath before Congress, that narrative died. Navy Chief Alex Wiggins testified about the self-luminous Tic Tac objects bursting from the ocean, filmed by the USS Jackson. Air Force veteran Dylan Borland described craft 2 stories tall hovering over Langley Air Force Base. 5 separate incidents at Vandenberg involving 100-foot objects. Then came the bombshell. Army Colonel Karl Nell declared non-human intelligence is real and has been engaging humanity for a long time. George Knapp confirming that Lockheed Martin negotiated to hand over UFO crash materials. This is not fringe anymore. This is congressional record. And the truth is finally here. Now, first, a word from our sponsor. Imagine an opportunity that could grow your wealth while also strengthening your country's future. That is the vision behind Western Star Resources. Western Star Resources is an experienced, publicly traded gold and silver exploration company with a proven track record in advancing high-potential projects. The company combines deep geological expertise with modern exploration techniques to unlock value in some of North America's most prospective mineral regions. With domestic demand for precious metals continuing to rise and with the U.S. government backing stronger domestic exploration, Western Star Resources is positioned for the next stage of growth. The company is advancing active projects in Canada and is actively evaluating opportunities in the United States. Could a huge U.S. expansion plan be on the cards? Well, I wouldn't bet against them or that plan. Western Star Resources, making gold and silver great again. Check them out in the link in the description. So we told you about this hearing last week, and now it has happened. Representative Luna at the hearing, evidence of tech beyond human capability. Oh, buckle up, folks.
In recent months, Congress has also been presented with evidence that points to technologies that, to our knowledge, are beyond our current capabilities. It is our duty as elected representatives to follow the facts wherever they lead and to ensure that those facts are not buried under classification stamps or bureaucratic excuses. Let me be clear, whether UAPs represent adversarial technology, natural phenomena, or something beyond current human understanding, Congress has a responsibility to investigate. If these objects are foreign in origin, then they pose a direct threat to our national security. And if they represent something unknown, they demand rigorous scientific inquiry, not ridicule, not secrecy, and not silence. The stakes are very high. Adversarial nations are not waiting for us to catch up. They are studying these phenomena as well aggressively, as multiple nations have also announced their own parliamentary investigations into this very topic. If we are to continue to hide information from ourselves, we risk strategic surprise. If we continue to ignore our pilots and service members, as well as countless government whistleblowers, we risk losing their trust. And if we continue to shield the truth from the public, we risk eroding the very foundation of democratic accountability. This is why this hearing matters. This is not about fueling speculation. This is about demanding the basic transparency from the Department of Defense and the intelligence community and other military contractors. It is about asking the questions every American has the right to ask. What do we know? What don't we know? And why in a free society are we being told so little? In recent months, Congress has also been presented with evidence that points to technologies
Representative Luna right there. Congress has been presented with evidence that points to technologies that, to our knowledge, are beyond our current capabilities. Wow. Oh, my goodness. The truth, man, there's so much here. Here's the UFO footage released at the UAP hearing. See it in the crosshairs. What is that thing? That's the Tic Tac.
Wouldn't surprise you, I tell you. You call it the VVSS team.
Yeah, like 22,000 feet.
That shit took off.
He's like, it took off. UAP hearing, 5 witnesses, 1 new video. This one's special. Some of the people that will testify have firsthand experience objects that are quite unusual, 100 feet in size, very close to them. The claim is 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg. Here's News Nation.
Witnesses will discuss 5 witnesses are set to testify on Capitol Hill at a hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, UFOs. It's Congress's latest attempt in demanding maximum transparency from the federal government and restoring the public's trust. Those 5 key witnesses will discuss what they've seen in the skies. That includes that massive glowing red square and unidentified objects that some say they saw hovering over California's Vandenberg Air Force Base all the way back in 2003. Joining me now is Director at the Institute for Theory and Computation for Harvard University, Avi Loeb. Professor, welcome back, sir. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I was thinking this morning, it's been a while, right, since we've had one of these UAP hearings. Are you expecting anything new or different that we haven't seen before?
Well, this one is special in the sense that some of the people that will testify have their first-hand experience with unidentified phenomena, and it's really interesting to read those written testimonies that they already provided, in which they say that there are objects that are quite unusual, 100 feet in size, that were very close to them, we need to understand where these reports are coming from. Between 2003 and 2005, the claim is that 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base, home to the National Missile Defense Project. So, at the very least, this is a major national security concern.
Yeah, I'm looking at the witness list here. You've got a couple U.S. Air Force veterans who are UAP witnesses. You've got a UAP journalist as well. A source telling our D.C. correspondent Joe Khalil that today's hearing will feature at least 3 videos of unknown origin. One of them, at least, has never, ever been seen or shown publicly before. 5 witnesses are set to testify on.
Okay, let's see if we can find some more for you here. Okay, UAP witness Dylan Borland testifying about witnessing a black triangle UFO at today's hearing. According to whistleblower Edgar Fuchs, the Teledyne Ryan Corporation out of San Diego were developing another top-secret craft alongside the TR-3A Black Manta program. U.S. Air Force top-secret nuclear-powered flying triangle, the TR-3B. Crew compartment requires crew of 4 minimum. Rotates with AC angle of attack and heading. Variable vectored intakes when pointed forward. 1 of 3 hydrogen oxygen variable vectored rocket engines. Landing pads. Wow. Yeah, the TR-3B, I've heard of this before. And people often mistake it for a UFO, but it is one of our own, apparently, TR-3B. Okay, never before seen video of an alleged UAP off the coast of Yemen in October 2024, shown by Representative Eric Burleson, Republican of Missouri, at a congressional hearing on an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. What the hell is that? And George Knapp responds. Listen.
Actively blocking information. Look, I'm not jumped to the conclusion that I believe that there are, aliens coming from another planet. But I'm open to that. And I think that it's our responsibility, especially when we're seeing that we have a government that is actively blocking information from us. Just last night, I tried to get an amendment onto the National Defense Authorization Act that fit in the germaneness of that bill to have UAP disclosure. And conveniently, it was named non-germane, mostly deemed by staff, not even an elected official. This is the kind of stuff that we repeatedly see. Last year, we were blocked by someone in House administration from being able to receive a full briefing from Arrow. So not an elected official, but someone in staff blocked us. And I've had it. Enough is enough. I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone. And so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
It appears to be flying in the center of the frame there. It's hard to make it out. Holy cow. What the hell?
This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, have you heard about events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild, and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
flies like that?
Again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information consistently?
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Okay, post-hearing instant reaction with Eric Burleson, Stephen Diner.
It's a relief.
Hey guys, Stephen Diener here at UAP, live from Capitol Hill with Representative Eric Burleson. The hearing just ended on UAPs, and Eric, great job, amazing. You showed the video of the egg-shaped UAP getting hit, and nothing happened by that Hellfire missile. So what was your reaction now that that's out there for everybody to see that?
For me, it's really a relief to get that out there. There was a lot of stress involved in a decision matrix of whether or not what to do with this. And look, I'm being very vulnerable to the American people. I don't know. This video may be faked. It may be AI. It may be something that's just very prosaic. But I just want the American people to know that rather than sit on it and try to gatekeep it, I'm going to be fully transparent, and I think that we need to have that posture, a posture of be transparent until we know we have to classify things.
Were you satisfied with today, now that's all said and done?
Yes. I mean, building up these hearings is a ton of work, and I thought Anna did a fantastic job.
Last question, and I'll let you go. What are the chances that the subpoenas do happen from the Oversight Committee towards Sean Kirkpatrick or anybody else involved with covering this secret up?
We'll see. Anna, I think, is a bulldog. I think she's going to pursue what's necessary, and so we'll see.
Representative Burleson right here, Stephen Diener, UAP. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Here is a self-luminous Tic Tac object emerging from the ocean. Navy Chief Wiggins testifies before Congress about a Tic Tac UFO filmed in 2023 by the USS Jackson.
Subordinate. My name is Alexandro Wiggins. I'm an active duty U.S. Navy Operations Specialist, Senior Chief Petty Officer. Father of three and dedicated American testifying today in my personal capacity. The views I share are my own, and I do not represent the official positions of the Department of the Navy or any subordinate organization. On the evening of February 15th, 2023, at approximately 19:15 PST, in the Whiskey 291 warning area off the coast of Southern California, I was serving on board USS Jackson. During that period, I moved between the Interior Communications Center, ICC-1, and the bridge wing, correlating the sensor picture with visual observations, part of my routine responsibilities for surface and air picture management. What I observed and what our crew recorded was not consistent with conventional aircraft or drones as they appear on our system. A self-luminous Tic Tac shaped object emerged from the ocean before linking up with 3 other similar objects. The 4 then disappeared simultaneously with a high synchronized near instantaneous acceleration. I observed no sonic boom and no conventional propulsion signatures. No exhaust plume, no control surface articulation on the Sapphire image system. Shortly after the synchronized departure, radar tracks dropped. These observations were multi-sensor and recorded inside of ICC-1 with time location overlay visible in our source frames that have been made public by journalists. From my experience operating in this region over many years and consistent with our public characterized encounters, unidentified objects reoccur in United States operation areas off Southern California. My name is Alexandro Wiggins. I'm an active duty.
Americans, let's see here, we have this, after becoming a whistleblower, veteran Dylan Borland told members of Congress at the UAP hearing as he testified for the first time publicly he became a whistleblower after facing retaliation, medical malpractice, and workplace harassment. Let's see. Let's go to Luna talking to Borland about his experience.
Great question, ma'am. So on the base, I lived in the barracks. There was a little smoke pit outside. I was there on the telephone and looking across to the flight line, and I see a white light pop up and stop about 100 feet in the air. I thought it was a weather balloon. I've seen tests from there before, weeknight, normal thing, not surprising. I actually finished my cigarette and I began walking up towards the flight line. There is a track, and because I was on 3 months of night work, I would walk the track at night when we were weather down. And as I began walking towards the flight line and the track, the light then flies across the base, across the flight line, and as it flies to me, a triangle manifests around the light. I can't tell you if it's active camouflage. I can't tell you if it appeared around the light, but I can tell you that it was a white light and then it was a triangle. It stopped about 100 feet in front of me and approximately 100 feet above me. My telephone got extremely hot, completely froze, dead. I remember how thick it was. It was between 1 to 2 stories thick, equilateral triangle. I could never see the top of it, and the edges were 90 degrees. There were 4 lights in total, 1 light on each corner and a larger light in the center, 2 to 3 times the size of the corner lights. But what was really odd was the outside. The best way to describe it is like looking at a James Webb telescope picture where you have the colors and then the black background. So the craft itself was this black metallic flake paint, but on top of the craft was this gold, lava, plasma, some type of fluid going over and around the craft. I'm under this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then the center light flashes 2 to 3 times, no sound, immediately shoots up to commercial jet level minimum, in my opinion, and I immediately feel static electricity all over my body, and then I smell the smell of after a thunderstorm or lightning storm, that really strong summer thunderstorm smell. Gets up to flight level. I'm trying to get my phone reset, and I can only see the center light at this point. If I didn't actually see it take off, I would have thought it was a star. And then it hovers up there, and it begins to slowly move due east out over the Atlantic Ocean. I finally got my phone reset. The entire thing was about, from the time I saw the light pop up near the hangar until it took off out over the ocean, was about 15 minutes.
And following up to that question, after you disclose this information to the intelligence community, Inspector General, you're subject to phishing attempts and job blacklisting. How widespread do you think this is across the intelligence community for those who raise concerns regarding UAP programs?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think prior to David Grush and people beginning this process of bringing people into awareness of the reality of these programs and certain things people have witnessed, probably extremely widespread. I think today there's still an issue, but because people are able to come before you and people are speaking out, I think it has been somewhat less. I would hope, though, that people would, because if this goes back into closed doors, this is going to get really ugly.
What type of behavior have you witnessed from former Aero Director Sean Kilpatrick as well as his staff in relate to this information you provided to them? Did they ever try to classify this information as non-human technology?
Good question. The problem with this is that I know what I experienced firsthand, and I know other things. I think the staff at Aero that I met with in March of 2023, I think they were good people doing the job they were told to do. I did not meet with Kirkpatrick. He was either not present or did not want to meet me that day. However, they did classify information about the reality of this subject, and it was very concerning because in my Aero MFR, they had actually referenced a former staff member that was the one who told me to go there, and they probably shouldn't have done that.
And real quick before my time is up, and we might go to second round of questioning just so you're all aware, how important, given everything that you've seen and experienced, is the UAP Disclosure Act of 2025 in restoring both public accountability and trust?
I think very important. I would hope, though, that the 7-year window could be shrunk, my opinion, but very important. The truth needs to be known.
The truth needs to be known. Here's more from that video footage. Someone says, we're cavemen throwing rocks to these things. They shot a Hellfire missile at this UAP, and it just deflected it. Look at that. Just bounced right off of it. Wow. I think we have some more here from the hearing. Let's keep looking for, let's see. Here's Lockheed Martin exec and Army Colonel Karl Nell. Non-human intelligence is real.
And so what else on this topic would not be possible without the support and grassroots efforts of the folks that are participating in this chat and the folks that are in your guys' orbit. And so what actually is this topic, right? And Ross and Lou also have alluded to this. Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity on this planet. This interaction is ongoing and it's not new. And there is zero doubt. But you already knew that. So how do we go about convincing other people that this is the case? Particularly people that aren't necessarily privy to all the information that some of us may otherwise be. And so there's three principal lines of effort, three principal sources of data. There's essentially the first principles argument, which basically says, counter to common belief, that life is common in the universe. How do we know life should be common in the universe? There's 20 billion sun-like stars in the universe. The sun is a population 1 star. There are planets like this, there's stars like the sun that are 5 billion years older than the sun. That's plenty of time for other civilizations to evolve on these other planets. There is recent scholarship that says that life evolved on Earth in the Hadean era. The Hadean era was before the crust even cooled. There's recent scholarship that says that microbes have been found in terrestrial rock that have dated to 2 billion years ago, essentially in stasis. So life evolved here very quickly. There are many, many planets like the sun, and there are many, many planets that are much older than the sun. People that would argue that life is uncommon have to justify that proposition more.
Let's go to George Knapp's testimony here on Bigelow's attempt to acquire physical evidence of UFO crashes from Lockheed Martin.
Program was active. The one name I do want to bring up in this session, though, is Robert Bigelow. So looking into the idea of crash retrievals and reverse engineering, while OSAP, that program, was active, the DIA's contractor, Robert Bigelow of Las Vegas, made a bold attempt to acquire physical proof of UFO crashes. It's been widely reported and suspected that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors, the defense contractors, that has held this stuff, stored it away in secrecy, and tried to figure out how it works. I have confirmed on the record that Robert Bigelow and a trusted colleague from OSAP met with and negotiated with senior executives at Lockheed Martin and hammered out a deal wherein Bigelow's company, Bass, would receive a quantity of unusual material that had been stashed away and protected at a facility in California. That material was not made here. The one...
Oh, my goodness. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Changes everything. We just witnessed the Pentagon's deepest secret crumble under oath. Navy chiefs confirming glowing Tic Tacs emerged from the oceans. Air Force veterans describing two-story craft defying physics. Colonel Karl Nell, not some blogger, but an Army colonel and Lockheed exec, stating plainly non-human intelligence exists and has been here all along. And the timing isn't coincidental. Trump renames defense to Department of War, launches Operation Midway Bliss against terrestrial threats, and suddenly Congress admits we're dealing with something beyond human comprehension. Think about that convergence. We're cleaning house on Earth while admitting that we're not alone in the universe. Representative Luna is demanding answers about tech that pulls thousands of G's. Now, these aren't weather balloons. They're proof that the government lied for decades. So here's the question. Should Trump create a Department of Extraterrestrial Affairs to handle non-human intelligence? Drop a yes or no in the comments. And let's continue this conversation. And while you're there, grab some Next News gear to join the disclosure revolution.